So this is the Alpha Sessions, and with me in the studio, I'm very pleased to be joined by Nikita KC. Welcome to the studio.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very well. Thanks so much for coming down on. I have to say, we're recording this on one of the hottest days of the year. So well done for doing your live session and battling the elements in that way.
I know, it's
Not
really hot, but we can't complain.
Exactly, should never complain. The first thing I read about you when I was reading up about you was about the fact that your parents were both singer-songwriters. So It sounds like you were always destined to do this.
Yeah, they were. They were kind of like a little 80s duo. That's how they met. They kind of got together, had me, and they were both in different bands. And kind of music was just always around the house and different musicians coming over. And I guess it's just kind of a part of me. Yeah.
And do they still perform now?
My dad still sings and writes, like mainly, not more as a kind of a hobby, but then saying that, he is working on like some EPs and stuff. He's put out a little EP like a little while ago, and I think he wants to go back into the studio. I think it's just something you just got to keep up, got to keep doing.
So did they encourage you from quite an early age to be a singer?
Yeah, I think so. What my mum says is that at 5 years old, she noticed that I was singing along. So when she had musicians around the house doing rehearsals, she realised that I was like singing along, and she was like, oh, she's picking this up. And if you want to hear a funny story, so my mum, one time, I think I was 5, again around that same age, and I was always saying, Mum, when are you going to take me to a gig? So it was St. Paddy's Day. I'm Irish, I'm allowed to say that. My mum had an Irish folk rock band. That's what she did.
Right.
And that at that time, the Irish music scene was massive at the kind of early 90s. And so she was always kind of booked out with her band called the Ferns at the time. So she had like 3 gigs on St. Patrick's Day. So because I'd been going on so much, she pulled me out of school that day and said I had a dentist appointment, and brought me along to a pub in Finsbury Park, sat me up on the bar stool during the day and watched her gig, and I had my little Barbie lunchbox. And halfway through her gig, I got down off the stool, started dragging the stool to the stage, and she's like singing, entertaining the crowd. I mean, it's packed during the day at that time, because it was just one of those things. And I dragged the stool to the stage, and she's like looking at me while she's singing, and I got up on top and I just started trying to like grab the mic off her, and I was like, no, let me sing. And the amp apparently like just kind of flew up because of my little squeaky voice, and I just wouldn't have it that she was singing. I wanted to sing. So at that point, I think she realised, okay, I think she's into this.
Yeah. So technically that was your first gig then, yeah?
Yeah, I guess it was my first gig, yeah. And then from there, I just kind of went to performing arts school every Saturday and did singing, dance and drama, and just became a real love of mine.
So you did a lot of performing as a young person growing up then? You did a lot of stage shows, did you?
A lot of stage, like musical theatre stuff in all kind of amateur dramatics and stuff. But yeah, I loved it. It was like Saturday was like the best point in my week. I just loved it. It was all day, so yeah.
I read on your website or some of the reading up I've been doing about you that you've been brought up on a whole range of different music, and you highlighted people like JoJo, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Destiny's Child, but then obviously listening to stuff that your parents were listening to as well, people like Fleetwood Mac, Alanis Morissette, and you've also mentioned people like Shania Twain and Celine Dion. That's quite a broad range of music, isn't it?
It is. I think that kind of, I remember I was in primary school in year 5 and year 6, and I was me and my best friend who sang at the time, we pretended we were in like a girl band, and like that's when Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera in their early days, and we loved them, and Spice Girls and everything. So we ended up forming actually 4 of us a little girl band, and we used to sing in the playground, and R&B at that time, where Destiny's Child, we had Usher, and different people like that. We were kind of obsessed with them, and that was the music we were listening to at that time, and so that became a real main influence for me. And then I realised I could write kind of songs in a music class at age 10, and we had a little our music teacher, he asked us to write a song. Me and my friend, we ended up writing this song, And he was really impressed with it, sent us around the school singing it. And then my mum had us go into a music studio and record it at the time. I've got the tape somewhere. It's really just quite funny. And then from kind of 13, I was listening so much to R&B, and so it just became like a real influence. But then my mum was constantly blaring Fleetwood Mac, and I really kind of fell in love with Shania Twain, although I think I embraced that later on. At that age, it wasn't cool. Yeah. When I was younger, to like be into that, and none of my friends knew who it was, so I kind of kept that to myself. And yeah, that's kind of how it developed, I guess.
So at home, were you always in competition then? Your parents wanted to play Fleetwood Mac, you wanted to play Destiny's Child and Usher and all that stuff?
My mum was always telling me to, like, you know, turn down the music a little bit, because she wanted to play at weekends when we're cleaning the house, like Fleetwood Mac and Alanis Morissette, and I'd be like, I'm sick of hearing that, I want to play my music, kind of thing. But then as I got older, like, I absolutely love Fleetwood Mac. So
they're so brilliant, aren't
they? They're fantastic. Haven't seen them live though. I really want to. It'd be good to.
Likewise, absolutely.
It would be
I've
really
heard
good.
Amazing things about their Wembley Stadium gig this year.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, it'd be great to see.
So you said you started writing sort of around the age of 10. So what sort of stuff were you writing about at that age?
I know it sounds silly, but it was the first song I wrote. It was about a relationship.
Right.
It was about, I think, my boyfriend cheating on me with my best friend. I mean, why I was writing about that at 10 years old. Obviously, I was very influenced by the media.
And you were going around the school performing this song?
Yeah, I liked it all the classes at one point.
Wow.
But yeah, so
Brilliant.
That's kind of relationships ended up being, even though I had obviously zero experience. At that time, just became the main theme, love and stuff like that of what I write, kind of thing.
And talk us through the songwriting process as it is now for you. So is it still based on personal experiences most of the time?
Always, usually. I try to keep it like that as much as possible. I've kind of dabbled in writing with other people as well, for other artists or just for other projects, which I can do, and I enjoy that. But when it comes to my own artistry, I always do my best to base it on something that is true to me. Because I find that's how I'm going to connect to it more. And I feel if I'm connecting to it, like, you know, in a one-on-one kind of way, in terms of it's about myself, then obviously I feel people pick that up in the vibe, I suppose, when they're listening.
So would you always start with a lyric in mind and then do the melody afterwards? How does it work for you?
It's usually melody, and then there's a couple of words that are kind of intertwined in the melody. And I always have a feeling I know immediately what the song's going to be about, and then I'd usually take a pen and pad. I sometimes do like a spider diagram, you know, like a spider graph.
Yeah.
And I just start writing different words, different associations with different words and stuff, and then build it on that, and then I just go with how I feel, basically. Yeah.
I noticed that, again, your website write-up says that you like to share a lot of your story through your music, and some of it has not been easy. You've mentioned on there that you've had, you know, a number of struggles that you've written about. I mean, how difficult was that to kind of put that into a song?
So actually the song I performed today, Home, is not about a relationship. Well, actually, I like to leave things to interpretation as well, but for me it was about the relationship with myself. I went through a bit of a difficult time a few years ago. And I wrote Home kind of off the back of that, and it was about basically finding your light in the dark, and home being returning to yourself, returning to who you really are, because I lost myself for a while. And writing Home, actually, because I stopped writing during that time, I stopped singing. It was a weird phase in my life, and when I wrote Home, it was kind of one of the first songs I wrote again after I hadn't been writing for a long time, and I just really channeled exactly how I felt. And it had, even though it's about finding the light in the darkness, in general, it's a positive theme. It's not meant to be depressing or anything. It's about finding hope when you feel all is lost, basically, and staying true to you.
I've been waiting, I've been praying for this day to come.
Granted, I was treading blindly, searching for the sun. Little did I know your work had already begun. I've come a long way, and now I'm grown. I've come a long way, and now I'm home. Just like a traveler longs to lay his head, I was longing for my happiness. I didn't know the truth was in the pain, but it runs deeper when you break. When it's dark, it's not too late to go home, go home, go home, find home. You gotta free yourself. Go home, go home, go home, find home. You gotta be yourself. You gotta be yourself. Oh, yeah. It's been a long road, but it's just begun. Oh, and now I'm not searching for just anyone. No, I'm searching for the light in me. I'm holding on, oh, come what may. 'Cause it runs deeper when you break. So you better go home, go home, go home, find home. You gotta free yourself. Go home, go home, go home, find home. You gotta be yourself. Oh, yeah. You gotta be yourself. It's your decision, it's your move to make. Oh, can't no one save you from the hole you've made. It's boring deep down and it's hurting you. So you better get up, take the reins, 'cause it's only you at stake. You better go home, go home, go home, find home. You gotta be yourself. Go home, go home, go home, find home. Oh, you gotta be yourself. Yeah, oh, oh. You gotta be yourself. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, so you better go home, go home, go home, find home.
The Alpha Sessions.
And that's the message you tend to give throughout all your songs, is that there's a positive outcome. There seems to be a positive message with all the songs that you write.
I try my best to do that. Obviously, where some, like Enthusiastic and It's Not Good Enough, are based literally on a relationship. It's very true to the relationship. In It's Not Good Enough, I'd say that more than Enthusiastic, that was kind of, again, came around the time of home as well, so it's still off the back of a difficult time, but except It's Not Good Enough was a difficult a turbulent relationship, let's call it that. Basically in the bridge, I didn't want to put it out as something, even though the chorus is It's Not Good Enough, as in the relationship wasn't good enough in the sense, in the way it ended. That's what I mean by that. I still wanted to put the feeling across that I don't hold a grudge, or I'm actually grateful for that experience because it's built me to be who I am. Yeah, so that's kind of, I always try and put a little spin on it.
And how did you feel performing those very personal songs for the first time after you sort of put them together?
Yeah, to be honest, it's quite a beautiful moment. I don't feel, I wouldn't say I feel awful when I perform them at all, because I see them as a really positive expression of that situation. So I feel quite relieved, and I feel I'm releasing emotions and stuff like that. And also I feel that they're very relatable. So there's people that have come up to me at gigs and been almost in tears because they're like, oh my gosh, I really needed to hear that right now. I'm going through a similar situation. And to hear that makes me feel amazing, because I'm like, this is why I'm writing these songs. This is why I put things out that are true to me, because they also are true to other people as well.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
And mental health being such a major thing at the moment, has music really helped you, and obviously helps a lot of other people as well?
Massively. Obviously, it can be difficult, you know, the music journey. Is very turbulent. I'm sure many artists will agree with me, especially when you're independent. And there's so much music out there, but I think, again, I know I keep saying it, staying true to who you are, and knowing that if you've got a message to put out there, there's someone that's going to pick it up, and there's someone that is going to benefit or is going to touch in a positive way. So I think even when you're going through those times of doubt, get it out there, scribble it out, write it out, do voice notes a lot of different melody ideas that come to me. And I think as long as you're doing something and you're expressing it, eventually someone's going to hear it, and they're going to get something from it.
And this kind of leads me on to the whole social media thing. I guess now as an artist, you're kind of, whether you love it or you hate it, you have to sort of embrace it to a certain extent. Where are you on that relationship with social media?
Definitely, I'd say in a love-hate battle. I think I don't want to get completely sucked into it, but it's very difficult, because obviously you're trying to find your fan base, you're trying to find your following, and that is the main way to obviously be seen and be found and be heard by other people. But I try, again, through my social media on Instagram, to a lot of my posts are again related to self-love, positivity, and, you know, again, staying true to yourself. That should just become like the quote now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nikita KC, stay true to yourself.
But again,
said it so many times.
Have you had a lot of interaction with people through social media supporting you in that message that you've tried to put out?
I've had yes, actually, I've met people on social media. Funnily enough, I've actually another artist from California, actually, that we both have the same kind of message, and we connected, and we actually want to do some work together when I go out there again, which hopefully will be sometime soon. And yeah, I've actually bonded with people, not necessarily musically, but just in a personal way, with people that have the kind of same message. So yeah, and I hope it kind of grows more that way. Yeah.
So what would you say to an artist who's maybe in a situation you were a few years ago, maybe they're relatively new to the industry, they're trying to make it on social media, there's obviously some downsides of it as well. What advice would you give to someone who's struggling with it? This
is going to sound really cliche, and this same phrase bugged me when I was going through, but don't give up. And I know, like, it's really irritating in a way, that phrase, because when you feel like you're on the floor and you're on the ground and someone comes and say, don't give up, you know, you honestly think, you do not know how I feel, you know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't just apply to artists, it applies to everyone. We all go through hardships, and you've got to dig deep and find a tool to help you resurface, basically. And for me, that was music. And even though I neglected it for a while, I in the end, I couldn't escape it. And then it was my part of my tool to re-emerge, basically, and get back on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds, as with everything that I read about you, it sounds like it's had a positive outcome in the end, which is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about your first single release in 2017 called Enthusiastic, which is one of the songs you're performing here today. Tell us a bit about that.
So, I think I don't know how people interpret it, but it is obviously, when you see enthusiastic, you probably think the song is like, oh, it's positive or whatever. It's something about being enthusiastic, but it's obviously the opposite. It's about not being enthusiastic. So it was based and completely inspired by a relationship that was a really beautiful one, but it went through some turbulent times. And I'm basically reflecting. It's a reflection on the memories and the times past that were really great. You know, the honeymoon period where everyone, you know, you're loving it. And then it's talking about how after the honeymoon period, after a while, the relationship didn't feel the same. It lost its magic, and maybe we don't look at each other the same. We're having little issues, and arguments and bickering and stuff like that. And actually, I don't like it here. I want to get it back to where it was. I don't feel you're enthusiastic for me in the same way that you were at the beginning of the relationship, and I want to get it back there. But it also does for me, it's not just I didn't mean to write it as like a you're not for me. It goes both ways as well, you know. It takes two to tango.
Imagine us back where we were before, drifting away from shore in our perfect boat. No water, no holes, no distance, just so close. We were just peaceful. Now I know I'm messed up, and I said some things, and I do not know what I was imagining. But I want us to talk about it, and I want you to fall back to me. Oh, I can't help but feel you're not enthusiastic for our love. You lost connection and trust, and it's a lot to take, and I'm about to break. How did we get here? Why did we do this to ourselves? You ought to know I love you. I just want you to tell me, looking in my eyes, oh girl, we'll make it through the rain. Now I know I'm messed up, and I said some things, but I want us to talk about it, and I want you to fall back to me. Oh, I can't help but feel enthusiastic for our love. You lost connection and trust, and it's a lot to take, and I'm about to break. When I thought I couldn't see you, oh, my heart ached. Now if we couldn't be together, would your heart break? When I thought I couldn't see you, oh, my heart ached. Now if we couldn't be together, would your heart break? Oh, enthusiastic for our love. You lost connection and trust, and it's a lot to take, and I'm about to break. Oh, enthusiastic for our love. You lost connection and trust, and it's a lot to take, and I'm about to break.
The Alpha Sessions.
Let's talk about your live performance work now. For one thing, do you normally perform with a band, normally just with one guitarist? How do you normally work with live performances?
So I love doing live band stuff, but in general, I mostly perform live with an acoustic guitarist. I absolutely love acoustic performances. I just like the way it strips back the song, and I feel that I end up delivering the song in a different way. It feels more organic. Live band is great. When I released my most recent single, It's Not Good Enough, I did a launch night in Soho, and that was with a full band, and it was awesome. It was brilliant. But there's something about performing acoustically, especially in little intimate sessions or venues, that I just really love. Yeah.
And you've got James, your guitarist, with you
Yes.
today. So
Shout out James.
Yeah, tell us a bit about how you met James and how that came about.
So me and James actually we worked together in a bar where I'm a singing waitress. I have to do my little thing on the side, basically, and pretty much everyone that works at this bar is a musician, and so after a while I said, look, would you be up for doing some sessions? So he was up for it. So. And it
Brilliant.
keeps me singing whenever I don't have a gig. So yeah.
But going back to the more traditional gigs, then, what for you makes the perfect gig?
An audience that listens. I've done a couple gigs in the past where people know it's kind of a gig to come to for music, but people tend to sometimes they've meeting up with their friends or whatever, and they're a bit chatty, and that can really ruin the vibe of a gig. I've been really grateful to do some lovely gigs this year. One in particular for Gig Happy. Big up Gig Happy. Luke will be happy that I'm shouting them out. And they were putting on music events every Friday in Camden Town, at a venue called Music and Beans. I think to date, it's probably my best gig.
Wow.
And it's really tiny. It's in a music cafe. It's downstairs in the basement. It's a small setting, really intimate. But honestly, the vibe and the atmosphere is beautiful there. I would say, if you're around, get down to Music and Beans, but they've had to stop it.
No.
At Music and Beans, I'm really gutted, but they are looking for a new venue, Gig Happy. So follow Gig Happy on social media and stuff and keep up, because they get, like yourselves, they get new artists in every week. They're all about supporting new acts, and so it's an intimate setting basically. I really enjoy, and really being able to connect with the audience.
Do you find it's quite hard to find those sort of venues now, though, where the audience are really attentive like that?
Actually, I would say I think it was harder years ago when I was kind of starting out as an artist. I think new artists and showcasing new artists has become more of a thing, and there's a lot of these session things happening. You've got is it on the sofa and different things like that that are taking place, and it's becoming a thing where people are enjoying going to these kind of unique kind of venues or little music nights, and they are there literally to pay attention to the music and the artists. So in my opinion, I actually feel it's gotten better.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what we like. I like those sort of gigs as well.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the other highlights of places that you've performed live and some of your favourite gigs.
I've done the Ned this year, which was really interesting. The Ned is a hotel in Bank.
Yeah, because they have a gig every Monday, don't they? Of sort of up and coming.
Yes, that's what I did. Yeah. It's great to play there. It was interesting. Because it's so huge, and you're on this kind of lifted round stage in the middle of everything.
It's the most photogenic place, isn't it? It's not the quietest, that's for sure.
It's not the quietest, no. Obviously, you don't get that amazing intimate kind of feel. But I kind of felt like I was on my own little planet, to be honest, on that stage. But so it was really cool. I've actually got a gig coming up in August, which I'm looking forward to. It's called Soul Stripped Sessions.
Oh yes, been there.
Oh, have you? What's it like? Is it good?
Yeah, really good.
Amazing. So I'm doing that. I think
Lescargo, isn't it? That's where the last one I went to. It's somewhere in Soho, anyway.
Okay, this one. Yeah, they do Soho. This one's in Brixton.
Right.
29th of August. So if you guys are around, come down. I'm going to be advertising it really soon, promoting it and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. I want to do more of these kind of little sessions, music sessions like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
And where's on your list of places that you kind of think, I really want to perform there?
Ooh. Well, I have to think now.
It can be anywhere, dream big. Where would be?
I mean,
the
Wembley
ultimate?
would be great, obviously.
Yeah, why not? Go to Wembley.
I'd say the O2 definitely, but then also Under the Bridge in Chelsea. I don't know if you know Under the Bridge. It's actually under the Chelsea Stadium.
Oh wow.
I've performed there a few years ago, but I was doing backing vocals for an artist at the time. It's a really cool venue. It's really big. Sounds great. That would be a cool venue to do.
That sounds cool. And whilst we're on the theme of dream places, how about dream collaboration? If you could perform live with anyone, who would it be?
Oh gosh, terrible when people put me on the spot. But
or who would you say would be your biggest idol potentially?
I mean,
we've named a few, but
I mean JoJo. I literally absolutely listen to her without a doubt every day. Growing up as a teenager, I still listen to her music now. She's got new stuff out. Collaboration possibly, but someone actually, now you say it, my mind's starting to tick over now. Anne-Marie.
Oh yeah.
I think Anne-Marie's,
okay.
I love her songs. I love her vibe and her personality. Personally, I think we just get on good.
Yeah.
But
That'd be a laugh,
we'd have a laugh, I think. I'd say Anne-Marie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if she's listening to this, then we'll try and make that happen. And the final thing in that sort of trio of dream things, dream rider. So if you were doing a gig and you could wish for anything sort of before or after your gig to be delivered to you, what would that be? And again, think big, think wild.
My goodness.
You know, you're playing
before
Wembley
or after the gig?
with Anne-Marie.
A big box of chocolate, like non-stop flow and supply of chocolate.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Not just before you go on stage though.
No, after.
Okay.
Like just like I love chocolate basically. I'm a major chocoholic.
Okay.
And people are like, you could have asked for anything.
It's true. I was going to say that, but no, chocolate's good.
I'm quite simple things are good for me. I like simple things. Just all my friends and my family around celebrating with tons of a big supply of chocolate.
Tons of chocolate. What more could you ask for?
Oh, and
With
chocolate
Anne-Marie.
milk. There we go. Chocolate milkshake.
A chocolate milkshake.
I'm literally nuts. And all my friends, anyone that knows me, like,
That's
I really
not the most
love
high
them.
maintenance
It's not.
rider ever,
I
is
don't
it?
think I'm that high maintenance. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad
that's
thing.
good. Well, that's
but
a good thing. That's a good thing.
not even alcohol to me. I'd take milkshake over alcohol any day.
Okay.
So yeah.
Excellent. So we'll remember that for soul sessions then.
Yeah. Definitely come to that. It would be good.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's talk about the video release for your last single, It's
Yes.
Not Good Enough. So
Yeah.
firstly, tell us a bit about the song, and then we can talk about the video.
So, fun fact.
Yeah.
It's Not Good Enough was actually written about the same relationship Enthusiastic was written about, but it was the end of the relationship. So Enthusiastic was kind of that middle of the way where things are reflecting and wanting to get it back to where it was, and then It's Not Good Enough was basically the ending of it.
Yeah.
And I wrote it basically about the disappointment of how it ended, not as opposed to, like, at the time, basically it was a phone call. That's how the verse one is written. I'm on a phone call, and I find out that there's someone else in the picture, and so I'm disappointed at the fact that it's ended in that way, because me and the person were very close, had a great bond. I just kind of didn't expect that to be kind of the final catalyst of the ending of the relationship. Plus, we were almost like best friends, to be honest. So it was sad, because obviously I didn't just lose someone, my partner, I also lost like my best friend.
Yeah.
So that was the frustration. It's not good enough. Like, why did it have to end this way? You know, endings are not fun as it is. No one likes an end, but I didn't see it going that way. Like, so that's what that's about basically. And the video is is a reflection of that. However, the video is special to me because it's actually filmed on the location where I grew up.
I think I remember reading that. It was actually filmed in the bedroom that you grew up in, wasn't it?
Where I started songwriting.
Right.
Where did you read that?
I think I remember either reading it or hearing it on an interview.
Okay, amazing.
That's very cool. How did that feel about going back to there? Have you been back for years? Or?
I mean, my mum still owns it, and
Right.
she rents it out, but I haven't lived there for maybe 6 years.
Right.
it was really special to
Yeah.
do my first music video on location to where basically my music journey began. And it was a brilliant day. Like it went effortlessly. I had a fantastic team on board. I had a few of my really closest friends around to support and stuff. And it was good.
It looks like a very fun video to make. And will you hopefully be making more videos? Do you enjoy that process?
You know what? I enjoyed it, I think, a lot more than I thought I would, because I tend to get a bit nervous. So I was like, but actually it was awesome. And
Right.
I do. I'm not sure which song, but definitely watch this space. There'll be another video for sure.
Brilliant. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming in
No
today.
worries,
If
thanks for
anyone
having me.
listening wants to find out more about you,
Yes.
where can they go?
So on Instagram, my
Handle?
I can't even talk. So I am Nikita KC, and that's not KC as in like the surname. A lot of people do the
Oh,
surname
right, yes, of course,
CACEY, but it's actually the letters K and C, and it's Nikita with 1 K.
Excellent.
It's the same on Facebook as well, Nikita KC. I have an artist page, and on Twitter I am Nikita KC. Yeah.
Be sure to check that out. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for coming
Thanks
down,
for having
and
me.
hopefully we'll catch you at a gig soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Wait a minute, hold the phone. Got a funny feeling something's wrong. Guess there ain't no use in me pretending. We could leave this on a happy ending. Knew it when I didn't hear from you. Don't deny it, is there someone new? In the silence my heart descends, and oh no, it can't be true. I'm praying it's all in my mind and all in my head. I can't take it now, you say there is. I can't be taking this lightly, and you can't be taking it back. Now I'm out of my mind and out of my head. Can't take it what you say you did. I can't be taking this lightly. I'm from here, there's no going back. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Though we're on the same page, and I thought we want the same thing. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Though we're on the same page, and I thought we want the same thing. Yeah. No. Time will heal ya, people say, but we said we remain friends. Guess you thought having me around will confuse the thing you found with another. Now you've gone and shown a new shade, Mr. Gunmetal Gray. Didn't want it to end this way. Now I'm praying it's all in my mind and all in my head. I can't take it now, you say there is. I can't be taking this lightly, and you can't be taking it back. Now I'm out of my mind and out of my head. Can't take it what you say you did. I can't be taking this lightly, and from me there's no going back. No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Thought we were on the same page, and I thought we want the same thing, boy. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Thought we were on the same page, and I thought we want the same thing. I would turn back the hands of time just to feel your hand in mine. I don't know what you're feeling, though I am healing. The love lives on inside, in the rhythm of my heart, like a beat upon my mind. But I don't wanna feel it, 'cause it's not good enough.